tonight. Additions to the agenda, we have two of them. Number 2 under proud of and number 2 under business. With those additions, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So
Motion by Dave, second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. District 741 is proud of community members and students who participated in the community theater performance of the annual War Piece. The flagpole country for donating labor and materials to install portable stadium flags at our outdoor athletic facilities, as well as free usage of the poles and flags during events. Public comment. Is anybody here for public comment this evening? Okay, and we'll move on to approve or correct minutes from the last meeting, March 28th.
So moved.
Motion by Bob,
Second.
second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No items on the consent agenda. Number 1 under business, review and consider approval of the Paynesville Motor Transport Company having 2 stops on their school bus route where they will not use the 8-way light system and stop sign.
Just a request by the transportation that it's more dangerous to use the 8-way lights at those particular places than to use them. I did call a couple transportation people I know, and they said this is not a common type of thing to ensure the safety of the students.
I think we've done these same stops in the past too.
I believe we have.
Okay, motion with Deb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, review and consider approval of matching grant for at-risk chemical-free counselor services with Recovery Plus, St. Cloud Hospital, which would increase Heather Anderson's contract to 2.5 days per week for the 12-13 school year.
The board previously had okayed or approved for her to have a day and a half that comes out of our general fund. We did get the match. At that time, I did mention that if we got a matching grant, we would add another day. We were lucky enough to get the matching grant, so we're able to add another day with no cost to the district.
Motion by Deb.
Second.
Second by Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 1 under personnel, review and consider approval of medical leave for Joan Blonigan, effective September 4th to October 1st, 2012.
That could change depending on doctor approval to come back to work, but that's our best shot at this time.
So moved.
Motion by Dave.
Second.
Second by Bob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What's the light agenda tonight? Our informational reports already. Lori?
All right, well, although Don will be coming to a board meeting to give a more detailed report, I wanted to share tonight our actual MMR rating for the middle school and high school. The middle school MMR rating that came out a couple weeks ago this week there was a 95.42%. And the high school MMR rating, which is kind of the whole new rating scale for the MCAs, was a 97.24%. So those are wonderful numbers, and it kind of shows that the programming that we are currently doing with our staff working very hard in aligning, connecting with students, utilizing different strategies is really paying off in the academic success for our kids. So we hope to continue that progress and not sit back and say, oh, good is good enough, but continue to move forward. So I wanted to share that. Dawn will be coming with more specifics and some diagrams and things at a later time. One neat thing kind of shows the character in our building is we have 60 students mentoring across the district. from elementary all the way through our middle school, which is a phenomenal way to help students not only learn how to help others in different areas, but it also helps them kind of solidify the knowledge that they have. So that's a wonderful thing. Our German students will be going back next week, and that's been a good experience for our students all the way around. They've been doing lots of different things by setting up games to see who's a better basketball team. We had one that they played off court, and they called me over the weekend and said that the German students beat us last night on a kind of they were getting together as a group. They said, can you open up the gym? So we came in the next day and we opened up the gym, and they split up teams, and we had a good time. We started off the year, and our hearts through the whole building go out to the Hagen family, Laura and Amanda Skillicky and her sister and Cody's brother. I was very proud of our students. They were very supportive of each other and the Hagen family, and we just want to send our prayers out to them. It did make a hard start to the year, but I think overall our students were stuck together, and it shows how each of us in the building are very important to each other and make a difference. So with that, some other changes in the year. Our transitions, the students are still getting used to the difference in the hallway time. They're a minute shorter to make up for that advisory time. But I've heard very positive comments both from teachers, students, and parents about what we're trying to do with the advisory time. So we'll kind of keep you posted on how that goes. I'm going to be looking kind of as a baseline from last year's midterm reports and quarter reports as far as grades, etc., because we're hoping it makes a difference on keeping kids accountable and seeing the number of students and the grades that they're getting at those times. So that's going to be kind of that comparison factor. The other transition has been the lunches. Students have been very respectful of the changes that have occurred with the lunch menu, but they're not very happy. They understand why it is what it is, and they're accepting it, but they aren't. They're leaving lunch not full, and they're not real happy with the menu choices. So it is a transition that we're kind of making it through, and hopefully as we kind of work with some different meals, we'll find some that will work better. So maybe you have any other questions for me at this time? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lori. Dave is not here today.
He's not here yet, a family commitment.
Okay.
This evening.
All right, so we'll move on to Matt.
Okay. Sort of a little bit. We had our ECFP carnival tonight. I was just putting away our new bounce house that we bought. So
Sure.
we had been renting those quite a bit for activities, so we just purchased one of those big inflatables. So today was the maiden voyage in the trial to.
Couldn't get you out of it, huh?
They never come back as small as when you first get them. So, but what I handed out to you is the summer report that we send out to the city and township for requests for support. It shows you our participation. We break down city of Paynesville registrations and Paynesville Township registrations, and then the amount requested is the same that we've done probably about the last 4 years. So we really appreciate the support we get from the city and township. We wouldn't be able to offer the program that we have without that. So that's just for your kind of for information there. Let's see, our next big event is our Movie in the Park on September 22nd. We're going to do Charlotte's Web out at Gazebo Park. BNC TV, we started up, so any story ideas that you have on things to highlight, if you want to email me. But we're hoping to have our first broadcast here by the end of September. So, otherwise, our fall programs are just in full swing. So, any questions for me? Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Max.
Yeah, I handed to you each report that I put together of all the numbers of the conference schools that for fall participation numbers, and I'm waiting to get the information back from the other schools now that all the junior high sports have started as well. So you can see how we compare against schools in our conference. We are, as far as enrollment wise, YME, Lackawarra, Bold, and ACGC are lower than us, and the rest of the schools are higher than us. So you can kind of gauge our student participation based on enrollment, and it's pretty good at Paynesville right now in comparison to other districts. So you saw in the proud ofs that we have some flags added. If you haven't seen them out by the track football field out there, there's 6 of them out there, and the plan is to put, there's just a sleeve in the ground, so it's a stadium flag that sits into a sleeve, and then they can just be lifted out. And so the plan is to put those sleeves as well this spring into the baseball and softball areas, so that those flags can be flying at those events too. I have a Minnesota State High School League area meeting tomorrow, as well as a Region 5A meeting on Thursday, so a lot of the pertinent information for me for this coming school year will be coming that week. Tomorrow is also the FFA plot day, so some of those kids that haven't been getting enough to eat at lunch, they'll enough to eat out there in the parking lot. That's a big activity for our FFA program. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. We've since hosted our first volleyball and football games, and we've had good attendance at both volleyball and football this far. So.
Just a question, do you know by chance how many of our students are participating in soccer? Just, I mean, because it doesn't have anything to do with the conference stuff, but just wondering how many kids are.
Yeah, I do. I don't have the number on here, but I do have a list. So I would be, if I set a number, I wouldn't be accurate. You know, if I can get you that information.
Yeah, next time, just curious.
That would be, that might even be 6 through 12, but I can give you a 7 through 12 number. Any other questions?
Yeah, thanks, Lance. Okay, Bob, end report?
A few things just in regards to Lori's mention about that. We will have somebody come here, a group, present and give more information on the new scoring system, the MMR system, talk about the elementary, talk about the middle school and the high school. Also, our science tests came out today. Haven't had a chance to take a look at them. The system has been very good. We had a little bit of difficulty with internet for a short period of time today, but we'll get more information on our science scores too. But today they were just released. In regards to lunches, I think also a presentation on the lunch program and reasons that it was changed to the way it is, so that the public can get a better understanding on why there's some questions about students. Although one person did tell me today that the students are blaming it on the superintendent for the lunches now, so I don't know what to say about that one. If you would take time to look at the goals that we had talked about at the last work session, don't have today, but I would like to bring those forward at the next board meeting, probably for the first reading. So if you have concerns or questions or things that you would like me to look at changing, give me that information. But at the next board session, I will have it on the agenda to talk about them a little bit, to start finalizing them so that we can get those done. First days of school went extremely well, I think, both at the elementary and at the high school and middle school. At the elementary school, they do an assembly, they introduce everybody, so they put me in front of everybody to introduce me to that crowd. Really cute. Now I have elementary students say hi to me in the hallway now, so it's nice for me. And remember, one of the things I mentioned is my fear of not being around students. I know that I do want to get up to the high school and start sitting in on the lunches to get to know some of the high school students too. I just didn't have much time the last couple of weeks. First article for the levy went in the newspaper. Should be in the next one that's published. It's a general, just information type of thing for the levy. Not a lot of facts and general things about areas that we would look at if it were to fail, and what kind of cuts areas that we would look at, and also in addition to some of the information that we talked about in the work session about areas that we would look at adding to if the levy were to pass, those types of things. So that's coming out. I meet with the chamber at a meeting tomorrow. I'm going to present to them on the levy at I think 11:45 if I'm remembering right. I would agree with Lori on the loss of our student. our hearts and prayers go out to the Hagan family, and I can only tell you that I went to the funeral and our students represented us oh so well. Just absolutely great. Work session, we had talked about the levy. We have gone over that at our last work session. District goals we talked about, and then also a little bit about the payroll position that's now open. We got, I think, 5 complete applicants that filled out everything. We're going to be setting up interviews here for hopefully even this week. We're hoping to get them all probably set up for possibly even Thursday, just to see how that goes. I did go to the carnival tonight. Matt was not in the jumping thing, just to clarify that, but it did go very well. And a lot of parents that I saw come in and out, and the students, the little ones had just a blast in there. Met with the administrative team. We discussed a number of things from the levy to the board work sessions, how those have gone. Eye observation is still a piece I'll bring to the board. It's an observation tool that we look very interested in using to help us with our walkthroughs, to observe staff, to gather data on what we see happening in the classrooms, to make sure that any pieces that we put in place that we're looking for are being completed by the staff, are being followed through with. But I'll bring that to the board at another time. We talked about things going on. We also talked about PR, the need to have articles in the Doghouse News, the proud ofs, and also just any PR, positive PR type of things. I know right now we're talking about a couple students doing just a video of the things that they have really found to be great things for them in the Paynesville School District. I'll be setting up a number of meetings right now. I'm looking at September 25th, probably at 6:30 before the next board meeting, to have my first levy meeting for the general public. So just, I'll get that out in the newspapers. I have about 8 dates that I've looked at that I think will work. We're looking at Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think we'll do most of them in the evening, but I'll try to do one right after school, maybe even one during school, to try to catch parents that are working at various times so that we can start getting out information. I'm also starting to contact cafes and other areas that might be interested in having me just come and eat lunch there and be available to answer questions for anybody that were to come into their cafe or place of business. So I'm looking at that also. Like I said, I mentioned that I'm meeting with the chamber tomorrow at a meeting. I'm going to be scheduling with the Lions Club also to present levy information there. So there's just a number of things. One of the things that I'll struggle with that we're talking about is how I get information out to our outlying areas. You know, Lake Henry, Roscoe, Howick, and Regal. I'm still struggling with how the best thing to do, although I think in a couple of those towns, the cafe may be a good place to go and eat and answer questions for the patrons as they come in. So we're looking at that and to get the information that we need out to all of the stakeholders. Needs school board member on the continuing education committee. I'll look for either a volunteer, but there's a meeting I think next week if I'm not sure, but I'll send out an email to the board just saying when the meeting is, but I will need a member on that. And also we have the WCED board meeting coming up on Monday at 7 o'clock in Albany. That's another thing. We now have information on the website concerning the levy. One of the things that I found interesting is that for the referendum, businesses are counted the same way that a residential area would be counted on. It's the same rate. So if they put in their market value as the number that they're looking for on how much it will cost, they will get the accurate number coming out of the website. So if you haven't gone to the website, please go to the website and you'll find information about the levy there. Let's see what else. I think other than setting my dates at this point for those meetings, like I said, they'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to try to mix up the time. I'm probably looking at 4 to 5, at least initially, although if I continue to get people that were to attend those, I would add more. I found 8 days kind of that would work real well from now to just before November. But I'll probably, like I said, knock that down to probably 4 to 5 to see what kind of response I get from the community, how many people show up. I think that's what I have. Any questions for me?
Would you prefer the board attend those as well?
I think it's always nice to have representation from the board. Once I set my dates, and finalize them, and if the board wants some input, I'll show you the dates that I have after the meeting. We can just look at them and pick some dates so that I get them in the paper and get them on our website. So,
Don't we have a continuing ed rep? Isn't you?
Yeah, but they meet at like 3:20 on Tuesday afternoon, in the middle of the day like that, I can't.
so that's why we need another rep for it. And like I said, I'll send out an email just asking for
I can take
some of
that,
that.
yeah, and listen for.
Okay, I will add you to it.
And Lou's good to go on Monday night, so for the West End letter.
Okay, great, fantastic. I'll send you an email. I'm not sure I sent an email out asking where it's located. I know it's in Albany. I'm assuming at the high school, but I want to get a verification on that. Any other questions for me?
What time was that?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anything else?